What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a very happy Easter Sunday. I got some things to do here, so I want to try to do this as quick as I can. And of course, it's this show, which drove me completely mad here. So, a lot of great receivers in this class, and maybe not like your top number one guy, oh my God, but there's some really good receivers that I would love to have on this team. So that's what we're going to talk about here. We're going through the offense. We got through quarterbacks, running backs. Go check those bad boys out, but we're going to go right through here, get through these receivers. Tight ends is coming next. Oh, I can't wait for that one. But obviously, receiver could be very important to us. So we're going to talk about that, and I appreciate you all taking the time, hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing. Love to hear your thoughts on this, whether you'd like to keep or trade A.J. Brown or what you would like to do at the wide receiver position. You know we've got some ammo here. We've got 9 picks this year's draft, 7 the following, and then 7 the next. So 23 picks you can trade in this draft, and we've got 4 picks in the top 100 here. And look, all those 9 picks, not even one in the 7th. So Howie, is going to be wheeling and dealing. We might end up with the 7th. We might end up with all kinds of different amounts of picks. So let's go. Howie, you madman. Trading Sidney Brown moved us up in the 4th and 6th round as well. So he's always looking to do his thing. And, well, one of those things that has been talked about relentlessly for the last 2 years is the media and fans would like to trade A.J. Brown. And I know for you sickos, I'm not one of those people, and I don't think you are either. I really like having one of the best receivers to go with one of the other best receivers. So as much as I feel Devontae Smith could handle things at number 1, I'd like to have 2 number 1s. So, yeah, I'm in that boat. I like the additions of Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore. We've got Wilson coming back, Cooper and Covey are here, Danny Gray and Watkins coming back from the practice squad. We lost Dotson and Marshall, but no sweat off our backs there. I think that, the 9 guys you have right here, you're going to add a couple more, and I think obviously, if you get rid of A.J. Brown, it's going to be much higher of a priority. Now, I don't feel that we should trade him. But, again, I don't know how the team feels. If this is an issue where, they're tired of hearing the media and fans going after him every day, and he's breaking down mentally because of it, and he wants to be going, whatever it is, it sucks. But we're going to probably need to look for a receiver regardless here in the very near future. And again, I wouldn't trade him until after June 1st, but if you go into the draft and grab somebody, it might be a lot more telling. So we're going to take a look at these receivers, and this was insane, man. I'm not going to lie to you, so let's just go through it. The top guys, for me, all over the place, mixing and matching who was number 1, who was 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, holy crap. And I think guys like Denzel Boston and KC Concepcion there could definitely go into the 2nd round. But I think some teams could take a shot, just depending on how things fall here. Lemon, Tate, Cooper, Tyson, holy hell. These guys are really fun to watch, and I would really be excited to have them on my team. And I think Jordyn Tyson, yeah, he's got some injury concerns, but somebody might be willing to go ahead and take a shot on someone like him, and I don't see why not. The dude is awesome. And, after that, I've got all of these guys here. I went 2 to 4 because I honestly, with getting in that accident the other day and just having so much on my plate, I didn't really have the time to want to separate these guys and feel comfortable telling you that, because I honestly think a lot of these guys could go anywhere from 2 to 4 range, and they're really fun to watch, and some of these guys could drop. Somebody might be willing to take one of these guys in the 1st. There are some really fun guys here. Jeremy Bernard, Kevin Cole. I mean, all of these guys here are awesome. And you're going to see I had some trouble coming up, and you see top 20 fits, thinking to yourself, what the? You'll see in a second here. There's just some really good wide receivers that, man, I just had a lot of like Stribling and Bond and Hurst, and there's just so many guys that some of them got left off, and some of them didn't get a graphic, and it was tough for me. But a loaded class of wide receiver 2s, possibly guys that could be wide receiver 1s, and then even in the back end, there are definitely some intriguing pieces here that I would take a shot on in those late rounds. Where a guy like Jeff Caldwell, he might be moving up people's lists. Looking at some of these dudes in here with return ability, Heidenreich, Wetchen, or Weechin, sorry. Pena was somebody that visited with the Eagles. There's guys on this list that if you do keep A.J. Brown, maybe it's more likely you go that route. And I wanted to try to do that for, my top fits, but I just don't know. And I think regardless of A.J. Brown being here or not, you maybe want to go ahead and grab somebody because you never know what could happen. And he's had some injury, concerns over the years. And hey, why not get a kid for the future that can learn from A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, whether or not he's here or not after June 1st? Time will tell that. But okay, so the top 20 fits we got here. I really sat here and I was like, okay, I got to make these graphics. Like, oh my God, like I want to put this out on Easter, but I was just losing my mind. And well, these guys didn't get a graphic. And I wanted, what I do is usually come up with a list of 10 or 20, and then I break it down to my top 3, top 5, whatever. I could not do that. I had a really tough time. And some of these guys were going to get graphics. Denzel Boston, Concepcion, Chris Bell, I really like, and I've got him from the 2 to 4 range because of his injuries. And if not, this dude has got first-round talent. And there's Jeremy Bernard, who I think would be a very solid pick. Elijah Surratt, dude. Antonio Williams, I really love. Kevin Coleman, these smaller guys. And then you got another giant like Surratt and Malachi Fields, Bryce Lance. These dudes are really fun to watch. Bell and Hurst and Cameron and Heidenreich and dude, Sturdivant would be fun. I think Heidenreich, he's somebody that's just a weapon. You could use him all over the field. He would be really, really fun to have on this team. But I could not rightfully just say, okay, I want this guy over this guy. I just couldn't do it. So I just put this graphic together to let you know I would really be happy with any of these guys on this list. And there were some guys that didn't make this list, but I wanted to at least keep it to 20. And then for the graphics, we're going to go with old Devontae Smith's number. We're going with 6. So let's get into the top 6 here. And right here, I did have some guys over him at first, and it was hard for me to really have him as, on this list. And then it was really hard for me to leave him off this list because he's 6'4", 198 pounds, and he's got that 4.37 40. That is insane. Pretty large dude that just has a pretty great catch radius. He obviously is a machine, a freak athlete, but he definitely has some things to work on. That press coverage, bulking up are things he's going to need to really do. Going up and getting the ball, those contested catches are something I'd like to see him work on. But I think this dude, holy crap, if he's in like the 3rd round, if he falls, you got to get somebody like him. I think adding him with Devontae and AJ would be huge. We talk about Hollywood Brown, Eli Moore, helping out in the middle and, taking the top off. This dude would do that. He would definitely take the top off. But for me, I'm more than a giant fan of Chris Brazzell. I would love to have him on this team. And, there's some things that, when they're younger, people will look for anything they possibly can to, whine about with these kids. I think for him, he's got great arm length, the hands, maybe not, the biggest, but he can do it all, man, from the short, intermediate to the deep. I think this kid, he's really fun to watch, and he's somebody I would love to have on this team. We've talked about getting a deep ball guy for a really long time, and sure, you'd like to see him bulk up, but we've seen it with Devontae. It's all right. And he has had some issues with some drops with the concentration. I just don't want to harp on it too much. I think he could definitely work on things and become really talented. But again, that's looking at somebody if he falls here. So to me, hell yeah, I'm all about it. Now up next, number 5 here. And this dude right here is somebody that I'm a giant fan of, Jordyn Tyson. And I think he's one of the best receivers, if not the. But that injury concern is obviously a concern. So, yeah, and look, I know you're looking, he's only got 4.5 speed there, but he's 6'2", 203. And if you watch this dude play, like this is another one. The short, intermediate, he's a deep threat. And at that size, I mean, it doesn't mean everything. You've seen it with a lot of guys, but this dude can get open. His route running, everything he does, like he's not just a deep guy, and he also actually goes up and gets it. So the complete opposite of what we were looking for in the negatives there. And this is somebody that's been trained by Hines Ward, so his toughness really shows. He's going to continue working on his blocking, but this is a guy I am a really big fan of. It's just unfortunate with those injuries. Now, I want to say, I think most people are going to be like, okay, who cares? And look, he's had some drop issues too. So my point is, if he falls into that second round, I don't know that it's possible that you let him slide past you. If he's there, he's available, you got to go ahead and take someone like Jordyn Tyson. I don't know that I would do it in the first round with those concerns, but I am a very big fan of his game. So I think, again, it's all dependent on where these guys, are falling here. But to me, Jordyn Tyson, he's just one of those guys. He's got it all. He can run those routes. He can go up and get it. And, if he's healthy, he's going to be one of the best receivers. And he could be one of the top guys in the NFL. So love to have him. We'll see how things play out. Let me know how you feel about those two big boys and if you would go that direction. Now I've got myself some small guys here, and we're talking about somebody that could fall. And he's got some drop issues, okay, but I am a giant fan of Zachariah Branch here. And yes, he's a smaller guy. Yes, that ball security is an issue here, but oh my, this dude's speed, acceleration, everything you want from that explosive playmaker that we talk about, the deep threat. He's a return man. We've been looking for somebody that can help us in that phase of the game. He could, obviously come in with AJ and Devontae, both still here, and he could come in and really be something special. And look, I get that there's some issues here with his height and weight, and he's a smaller guy here, but dude, he's actually really good on those short, intermediate, deep, all of them. Again, I'm looking for guys that can help us in all areas, and this is one of those dudes with that speed, that yak. This is somebody. And look, he is smaller, but he is tough as nails. He has that Georgia toughness to him. He's got good damn hands. As much as I talk about those drops, I think they're more concentration oriented. This dude is just really, really exciting to watch. He has a couple of return touchdowns in his career. So, but I think he needs to work more on his route tree. He needs to become more of a, complete wide receiver rather than just a gadget return kind of guy. But that's the kind of thing that if he's dropping, that's what I'm looking for. If you get him in the second, third round, I am not in any way, shape, or form upset about it. I think this is a kid that is going to be really exciting in the NFL, and I think the Eagles would happily take someone like him. So if you can, go ahead and get him. Now, up next here, number 3, and I had him at number 1 at one point, and I just really, really like Omar Cooper. And I know the Eagles had a visit with him. I was excited to see that. I think he was a little more, I would say, underrated. I think people are actually talking about him a little more now, but this dude, it's like one of those guys you talk about with those pure, the hands, the route running. He's got all of it. Sure, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but man, I do not care. I think, he's going to have to work on getting off the press. A lot of things that these young guys have to work on, which is perfectly fine. And I know a lot of people are talking about he's not a true number 1, that he doesn't have the size, the speed. He's just kind of all of those things average. I don't care. Oh, he didn't have 1,000 yards. Yeah, because Indiana was beating the hell out of people. He's got the number 1 quarterback there. So I know that helps him too. But Omar Cooper is one of those guys where if you put him on this team, oh my God, regardless of AJ being here or not, dude, this dude's I think in my opinion, the best short, intermediate, deep, like the combination of all of them. And he can block a little bit too, which is nice. So this dude, he just gets the ball in his hands regardless. He's going to go up and get it. I think, is one of the most pure, natural looking wide receivers. Just everything he does, he's got that focus. The way he catches the ball, when he gets his ball in his hands, the yak in space, he just does stuff. And I think he's going to continue getting better at blocking. He shows he's already willing to do that. So that's nice, but just going to have to continue developing as a receiver. And that's perfectly fine, man. He's still young. And I think that anybody would be lucky to have this kid. I think a team, if they take him in the first round, hell yeah. But if he drops in the second, which could definitely happen, I think a team would be running through a wall to get him. And if that's the Eagles, I'm all about it. Let's effing go here. Now up next, this dude, in my opinion, is the number 1 receiver in the draft. I think that Makai Lemon, I've heard some comparisons to Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think for me, he's a little more like, and I don't want to get carried away with this, but I think this dude looks like Steve Smith almost out there. And I know he's only 5'11", 192, only got a 4.5 40. So if you're looking at Raz scores and all that kind of stuff, yeah, dude. And maybe I want to take back what I said about Cooper, because this dude, just his shiftiness and his route running, his spatial awareness, everything he does, dude. It's a technician. This dude, putting him with Devontae Smith would be insane. He's got such great hands. Watching him just little bip and bop around, man, he is just so fun. He finds those soft spots. He's a receiver, dude. And he actually goes up and gets the ball, too. His hands, his ball tracking is just really insane to watch. A very willing blocker. This kid, just like any receiver we talk about, could use definitely some refinement, his route running. And sure, the bigger receiver or the corners they talk about, he's going to struggle there. Yeah, they said a lot about that stuff about Steve Smith, too. I think this kid shows the toughness at 21 years old. I think he's going to be effing special, and he's got return capability. So he can come in here. He doesn't have to be JSN. He doesn't have to be a starter. And JSN actually had the same luxury, behind Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And, well, if he could come here, learn behind AJ and Devontae, and then, a year from now, if AJ's gone, you got Lemon and Smith. Holy hell, I'd run through a wall. And this would be my number one fit for the Eagles if I thought he could fall to us. But the only reason I have him here, I didn't want to leave him off the list because, dude, I said that about Justin Jefferson and he was there. So maybe we could speak it into existence and Makai Lemon could make it on the Eagles, because this would make me run through an effing wall. I'm not going to lie to you. I would be beyond ecstatic. But let me know how you feel if you're a fan of Makai Lemon or there's somebody else on your mind. And again, guys like Denzel Boston, Casey Concepcion, we're almost here. And I do like them. Concepcion, a lot of the drops and certain things. Boston, same kind of. I love them, but left them off. But my guy here, number one fit, Carnell Tate. And again, this was tough for me because there's so many great guys here. I just feel this is more of the fit, right? If you're going somebody with that top pick, I would be ecstatic if it was Carnell Tate. But that would be very telling. Now, if he falls in the second because they like those other receivers, okay, then you're definitely taking him. But this dude, he's got elite hands. His contested catch, what he does, he is that vertical threat. He's that all-around everything kind of threat we talk about with those other guys. He's insane. His hands, I'm not sure I've seen hands like that in a long time. He's almost comparable to JSN in that regard as well. But his high pointing, he's really fun to watch. I know a lot of you have probably seen him, but he's got great ball tracking skills and, his just vision, his football IQ. He'll go across the middle, the things that, you see everything from him. And I get that he's not the fastest dude in the world, but I don't care. And he does need to work off getting off some of this press coverage, but we've said that about a lot of these guys. He's got to work on the blocking. They're young. They're in college. They're not asked to do a lot of these things. And he does have a leaner frame for his height. He did have a couple of injuries, not anything too major there, but this is a guy that you put him on this team, and I think he would have a much more better chance to fall than someone like Lemon. I don't think Lemon will be there. That's why I have Tate here at number one. But I'm telling you, you give me any of these guys right here that I just talked about, and it's let's effing go. But a few of them that we just talked about there could possibly be, falling in this draft. So that's why they become those top fits. But some of those guys, like I mentioned, Heidenreich and Weechin, that would be great in the return game. There's so many of them. Kevin Coleman, oh my God, Antonio Williams. I love a lot of these guys. So let me know how you feel about this draft. I am definitely torn here, but those are my top 20 fits there. You see all the receivers I like. There's so many more we could have talked about here, but I want to get this series rolling, and we'll get to my guy at the end of this series here. So we got to keep her moving. But love to hear your thoughts on this. Hope you're all having a happy Easter. If you need anything, you can always reach out. Always here for you guys, as you are for me. It does not have to be about the birds, especially during the holidays. I'm here for you guys. I love you. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Share this bad boy. Subscribe down below. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, say it with me now, sickos. Go Birds!